Hello, this is Lena. Thank you for joining the Book Summary Library channel today. This is a place where you can learn while relaxing. I hope you will listen to it while sitting on the sofa, with a cup of coffee, or before going to bed at night. Now, this time I will be talking about The Richest Man in Babylon, a famous book on money that has been read all over the world. Some people may think it sounds difficult just by hearing the title. But don't worry, this book is actually very simple and practical, and it teaches you the ability to manage money that does not change in any era. For example, have you ever thought, I wonder if I should buy some nice clothes, or I'm interested in the latest smartphone, as soon as you get your paycheck? As a result, at the end of the month, you may think, oh, I don't have enough savings. This book, filled with advice that is perfect for our daily lives, should be an opportunity to reconsider your sense of money. And above all, this book is not just about making money, but also about how to build wealth and happiness throughout your life. In a nutshell, it is a story that teaches you the wisdom to spend, increase, and protect money. Since reading this book, Lena has also become more conscious of how she spends her money on a daily basis. For example, she thinks, if I cut back on my daily cafe expenses just a little, I might have enough money to travel abroad in a year. Such small changes are a sense of investing in your future self, and this is an important point that The Richest Man in Babylon teaches us. After listening to today's talk, I'm sure you'll feel like I can become closer to money. Please listen to the end with a relaxed attitude. 1. The basic message of The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, let's get to the heart of the book. The message that The Richest Man in Babylon wants to convey to us is that, by managing money wisely, you can build a rich and free life. Moreover, this does not require special talent or a large income, but anyone can achieve it depending on their daily habits and way of thinking. For example, the main character, Arkad, was once a poor craftsman, but one day he wondered, why are there rich and poor people? He then becomes an apprentice to the richest man in Babylon and learns the principles of building wealth. Here's the really interesting part. The teachings that Arkad learned are still applicable to us today. One of them is the rule to save 1/10 of your income. When you hear this, you might think, what, that's all? However, few people actually make it a habit to save a portion of their income. For example, Lena used to think, it's okay to spend this much, and at the end of the month, her account was empty. But when she started saving a little bit every month, after 6 months, she had enough money to go on a short trip. This 1/10 rule is the first step to building wealth, and it has not changed since the time of Babylon. Once this becomes a habit, the next step will naturally become clear. There are 7 other important teachings in this book, such as prioritizing your desires and making money work for you. Each one complements the other, and by learning and practicing them one by one, you can definitely change the way you deal with money. Before we move on to the next step, let's take a deep breath and move on to the next topic. Don't worry, Lena will explain it to you in detail. 2. The true meaning of saving 1/10 of your income. Now, let's delve deeper into the famous saving 1/10 of your income rule from The Richest Man in Babylon. This is not just a simple matter of saving money. This teaching contains the important idea of making money your ally for your future self. For example, let's say a person who earns 200,000 yen a month saves 1/10 of this, or 20,000 yen. If you think about it simply, you might think, 20,000 yen a month is not a big amount. But the important thing here is to create the habit of reconsidering your life through saving money. Let's talk about Lena's friend Kaori. In the past, every time she got her paycheck, she would spend it on her favorite clothes and accessories, and before she knew it, she had 0 savings. But then she started saving 1/10. First, I asked myself, do I really need that luxury bag? As a result, I put the money I saved into savings, and a year later, I had enough money for an overseas trip. Corey was very impressed, saying, "Little by little, it has the power to change the future." What's interesting about this teaching is that it suggests not just letting your savings sit idle, but putting them to work. Arkad also says, you shouldn't just have money, you should learn how to increase it. This is the foreshadowing of the so-called making your money work for you stage. For example, Corey used some of her savings to attend a qualification course to improve her skills. This led to her promotion and increased income. The real appeal of this teaching is that it uses savings in this way as seeds for the future. This 1/10 rule is the first step in starting with small habits and cultivating the power to support your future self. To borrow Arkad's words, savings are faithful servants of the future. Doesn't that really resonate with you? Now, let's move on to the theme of prioritizing your desires, which develops this teaching further. 3. The wisdom of prioritizing your desires. If saving 1/10 of your money is building a foundation for the future, prioritizing your desires is a way to make that foundation even stronger. This teaching asks you to make the most of your limited income, that is, to rethink how you spend your money. Let's take the example of Yuji, a friend of Lena. He loves gadgets and was the type to jump on every new smartphone that came out. But one day he realized, does having the latest model really make my life better? So Yuji chose a smartphone that met the bare minimum of functions and decided to invest the money he saved in his hobby of cameras. Thanks to this choice, his photography skills improved rapidly, and he even started receiving requests to take photos as a side job. This is the power of prioritization. In the story of Babylon, Arkad also talks about the importance of distinguishing between what you really need and what you don't. This requires the ability to calmly observe your desires and determine which ones you want right now, and which ones will create value in the long term. For example, think about it like this. If your income in a certain month is 180,000 yen, how do you spend the remaining 162,000 yen after saving 1/10 of it? In this case, Lena would first prioritize fixed expenses, rent, utility bills, etc., and then allocate money to expenses that lead to growth or experiences that make you feel pure happiness. For example, material costs for qualifications, and time to spend with friends at your favorite cafe. Combining these two will enrich your mind and growth. The core of this teaching is that it is difficult to get everything, but you can get the things that are truly important. By sorting out your desires, you will be able to use not only money but also time and energy effectively. Next, let's talk about the theme of how to increase this organized money, making your saved money work for you. 4. The idea of making your saved money work for you. This is the true essence of The Richest Man in Babylon, the teaching of making your saved money work for you. This is a way of thinking that goes beyond just saving money and takes you to the next stage. In other words, it means using the money you earn from hard work as an employee to help your future self. For example, let's talk about Emmy, a friend of Lena's. Emmy was saving 1/10 of her income every month, but one day she thought, I wonder if I can make better use of this money. So she started studying stock investment. She was nervous about her first investment, but thanks to starting with a relatively low-risk product like an index fund, she was able to get a small return in the form of dividends after a year. This experience of money working for me greatly changed Emmy's sense of money. In this book, Arkad also emphasizes the importance of investing money. However, the important thing here is to choose carefully. Arkad says, to avoid wasting money, get advice from people with reliable knowledge and information. This teaching is perfect for us today. For example, if you get involved in cryptocurrency or stocks just because they're popular, you run the risk of losing money. Before investing, it's important to fully understand the mechanisms and risks. This teaching is not limited to investment. It also includes investing in yourself. Lena herself has adopted this way of thinking, taking online courses to improve her skills and increasing the amount of time she spends reading. For example, by improving my English skills, I was able to get new job opportunities and enjoy traveling abroad more, broadening the scope of my life. In short, the core of this teaching is not to just let money lie dormant, but to use it to grow and create value for the future. As Arkad says, many people can sympathize with the idea that it is lazy to let gold coins lie dormant. Next, I will talk about the teaching of protecting money from danger and loss. 5. The wisdom of protecting money from danger and loss. Here, I will talk about the teaching of protecting the money you have saved. This part is one of the most important themes in The Richest Man in Babylon. If you are only thinking about increasing your money, you tend to jump into risky choices, but Arkad emphasizes protecting your money first and foremost. For example, the story of Takeshi, an acquaintance of Lena. After he had saved up a certain amount of money, he was interested in an investment that a friend recommended to him, which he said would double in a short period of time. However, when he started, he encountered unexpected losses, and before he knew it, he had lost most of his funds. At that moment, Takeshi remembered the advice he had heard at a financial seminar: don't invest in things you don't know much about. In the end, moving money without knowledge was the cause of his big failure. Arkad also teaches us about these risks. Don't put money into things you don't understand. He also emphasizes the importance of getting advice from people who are skilled in that field. This still applies to us today. For example, whether you are investing in real estate or stocks, or even trying a side job, proper advice and reliable sources of information are essential. Another important teaching is, don't bet all your money on one investment. Arkad says, diversifying your savings and assets reduces risk. In modern terms, this means diversifying your investments across multiple asset classes. For example, by holding a balanced mix of stocks, bonds, real estate, and cash, even if one of them causes a loss, the other assets are more likely to cover it. It is also important to protect your money in the form of insurance. For example, Lena reviewed her health and life insurance and sorted out what she really needed from what was unnecessarily broad in scope. As a result, she was able to make choices that were risk-prepared while eliminating waste. This teaching is not just a way to avoid losses, but also a way to gain peace of mind. If you have a strong defense, you can confidently move on to the next challenge. Takeshi also developed the habit of carefully managing risks after that, and was able to gradually regain his assets. Now, let's move on to the next step and talk about how to prepare for the future related to this teaching. Please listen to the wisdom to face the future with peace of mind. 6. Prepare for the future. This teaching means having a financial plan to enrich your life from a long-term perspective. In The Richest Man in Babylon, the importance of preparing for future uncertainties is repeatedly emphasized. Arkad says, life is a series of unpredictable events. That's why we need a financial plan to prepare for retirement and unexpected events. This is also true in modern society. For example, preparing for unexpected expenses such as sudden illness, changes in work, or living expenses after retirement is key to long-term security. Let's take the example of Mariko, a friend of Lena. Mariko is in her 30s and didn't think she had enough money to prepare for the future. However, she suddenly needed to pay for nursing care for her parents, and her savings were not enough. Since then, she started saving part of her income as an emergency fund. As a result, after a few years, she was able to have enough money to feel secure even if something unexpected happened. What is particularly impressive about this teaching is the idea of preparing with a clear goal, rather than saving money without a purpose. For example, in Arkad's story, the purpose is depicted as having savings to reassure my family. In the same way, we need to think about what goals we have for our future. Lena herself has set specific goals to prepare for the future. For example, funds to spend comfortably in retirement, and funds to spend on her hobby of traveling. I believe that this money, which I am saving a little at a time each month, will be a gift that Lena will be grateful for in the future. Babylon's teachings also emphasize the importance of having multiple sources of income. This is because if you only have one source of income, you will be at great risk if that source is lost. For example, expanding your income through investments, side jobs, or skill development will lead to future stability. In short, preparing for the future is not just about money, but about designing stability and happiness for your entire life. Next, I will talk about the last pillar of Arkad's teachings, increasing your own earning power. This is a very powerful teaching that will make you realize that you yourself are the strongest asset in your life. 7. The strongest asset, increasing your own earning power. The last teaching I will talk about is the teaching of increasing your own earning power, which can be said to be the culmination of the richest man in Babylon. This idea is to see yourself as your most valuable asset and to develop it in order to build the foundation for wealth and happiness. In the story, Arkad says, the greatest asset anyone has is themselves. And he teaches us that developing our skills and knowledge is the key to increasing our future income and making our lives richer. Let me now tell you a little about Lena's experience. A few years ago, Lena was so busy with work that she thought she had no time to study. But one day, she realized that if she stopped trying to improve herself, she would never be able to achieve a better future than she is now. Then, she started getting up a little earlier in the morning to read books and take online courses. As a result, she gained more marketing knowledge, was given new projects at work, and her income increased. She realized that investing in yourself is what produces the greatest return. In Arkad's teachings, such investments for self-development are seen as the first step to building long-term wealth. And what supports this is the power to continue. The idea is that by continuing to improve your abilities, even if only little by little, you can achieve stable success, rather than making a one-time effort. In addition, in order to improve your own earning power, it is important not only to learn but also to take on challenges. For example, you can increase your market value by acquiring new skills and starting a side job, or by gaining experience in a completely different industry. In the story of Babylon, Arkad also opened the door to success by taking action himself and gaining new knowledge. In today's society, there are endless ways to improve your earning power. There are plenty of options to challenge yourself according to your interests and goals, such as online courses, obtaining qualifications, and turning your hobbies into side jobs. Lena also wants to hone new skills through this channel and provide useful information to even more people. In other words, improving your earning power is the best gift you can give to your future self. And it comes from small steps that you can start right now. I have now explained all the main points of The Richest Man in Babylon. Finally, I would like to summarize how to incorporate these teachings into real life. Let's take another look at the 7 points of The Richest Man in Babylon that we have talked about so far. Each teaching is a simple and practical guideline to enrich our lives. Save 1/10 of your income. Setting aside a portion of your monthly income for the future gives you a sense of security and possibility. By saving, we can create room for the future. Prioritize your desires. It's hard to get everything, but by identifying what you really need, you can use your money more effectively. This is the power of choice. Make your money work for you. Money is not something you can just save, but something you can only use if you increase it. Cultivate the sense of making your money work for you by using it for investments and personal growth. Protect your money from risk and loss. Instead of taking big risks without knowledge, the key to avoiding losses is to utilize reliable sources and expert advice. Live in a good place. By choosing an environment that supports the foundations of your life and work, you will have better opportunities and a sense of security. Prepare for the future. By planning for retirement and unexpected events, you can face the future with more peace of mind. Improve your own earning power. Continuing to develop yourself as your strongest asset is the shortcut to long-term success. These wisdoms taught by Arkad are practical advice that is perfect not only for ancient Babylon, but also for us today. Lena also practices these teachings, sowing seeds for future Lena little by little every day. And finally, I want to tell you that it is never too late to start these teachings. It's okay to do it little by little, so start with what you can do. And by accumulating actions, your future will surely change. Thank you for listening today. The Book Summary Library channel will continue to deliver book knowledge that will color your life. Let's aim for a richer and happier life with Lena. I want to support your future, that's why I created this channel. Please continue to support me. Please subscribe, like, and comment to give me your support. You did a great job today. I hope tomorrow will be an even better day.